As you get a little bit of experience under your belt and you start to develop that feel, a little bit of finesse, and more importantly, you stop bending and breaking picks all the time, at some point you're going to want to upgrade and get a higher quality kit that's going to give you a little bit better performance. This is the Peterson City Set. But before we talk about that, let's talk about who won the PXS 14 Beginner's Kit. And then we had, let's see if I get this up here, we had 1,958 unique comments. And the computer selected Will Niche. So Will, if you will PM your address to me, I'll get that PXS 14 in the mail to you. I'd also like to talk a little bit about your comment. Hard to tell by looking, but I wonder how this set compares to Sparrow's Tuxedo. Well, as a coincidence, some of you guys have hit that fan funding button down in the description. Send me a little bit of cash, and I've turned around and given it to Sparrows. Last night I placed an order with them to get some of their kits and some other items to review, and then of course give it back to you since you guys paid for it. And for you guys in the UK who've been driving me crazy asking about Mad Bobs and the other one is a Storm Lockpicks, I placed orders with those guys too. So within a couple of weeks we'll have, from all those three dealers, we'll have a lot of new stuff to put in the queue and review and then give away to you guys. Until then, let's talk a little bit about Peterson's City Set. It's a neat little set. There are actually two versions of this. You're looking at the $58, it's called the EMP Kit. And that's because it's electroless nickel. And then there's another one that's identical in every way except instead of electroless nickel, it comes with what Peterson calls government steel, which is, I suppose, their some proprietary brand of stainless steel. Other than that, they're perfectly identical. So you're going to get 6 picks, you're going to get a tension wrench, and you're going to get the extractor set that individually they sell the extractors just for $20. I have to say this right up front, if you are in North America or if you pick locks that have wide open keyways, this would be a good set for you because these measure 25 thousandths of an inch, fairly thick and sturdy material. If, however, you pick high security locks, or if you live in Europe and you pick Euro cylinders or anything with a paracentric or small keyway, this is not the kit you want. Only if you're going to be working on wide keyways. Okay, what do you get? As I said, 25 thousandths of an inch, and then these nice sturdy, these are hard plastic handles. They're cross-hatched on both sides, and they're also rounded on the top and bottom. That makes it very easy to grip, and it's also very ergonomic. You can hold on to these for hours without any kind of hand fatigue. The feedback from Peterson picks with these hard handles is outstanding. I've been using them for a while. I'm very happy with the feedback I get from all of these plastic handled Peterson picks. So this is the equivalent of a medium hook. Peterson calls this the gem. You're going to get a H1 or a standard hook, a half diamond. Peterson calls this a double peak. I call it a W rake. A L rake or city rake, and Peterson calls this oddly a ripple pick. And then the last one is a S hook or snake hook. You get a tension wrench. This is unique because you guys have been asking about which kit comes with top of the keyway, and this is one of them. If I can get the camera to cooperate, you can see that this is serrated, very fine serrations on both ends. And the long end is so if you have inset locks or recessed lock faces, you can reach in there and use bottom or top of the keyway with that wrench. The other thing I think is very nice are the extractors. This is not a whale harpoon. These are plastid-dipped handles. They're made from spring steel, and they're wire cut, very precise. And if you've seen my finger injury, you know that I know exactly how sharp these things can be. Very sharp. And they have to be to dig into the metal to pull pieces of broken keys out of keyways. You get a case, and this is fairly standard industry. It looks almost identical to the Southord. It's leather, single stitching. A single stitch breaks, it comes unraveled. And for that reason, I'd like to encourage you, don't make your purchase decision based on the case. You can get a case anywhere. Focus on what tools you get. When I look at the tools, what would I change? Well, let's talk about that. At this price point, $58 to me is a pretty good amount of money. I want perfection, and Peterson almost got us there. These need very little touch-up. You can just barely see some striations along the shaft there that need to be smoothed out, but other than that, nothing. All the tips are perfectly shaped. Everything, there's no overflashing. Everything is just beautifully done. All we need to do is just a little bit of polishing and rounding of the edges with some sandpaper. The other thing I would like to see is a better tension wrench. This one's okay. It's perfectly functional, 30,000 stainless steel, but I would have preferred to see Peterson throw one of these in, one of their standard pry bars. And you'll notice on a pry bar we got that little cutout, and that's to prevent the tension wrench from going too deeply into the keyway and pushing up against the first pin, which makes it difficult to pick. So I would take the tension wrench they gave me and I would cut just a little notch in it so I could have my own depth limiter on the wrench they gave me. The other thing I probably would have expected in a kit today, this is the most popular pick in the universe. And Peterson even makes a triple peak or a Bogota. I would have expected to see one of those thrown into this kit. Everything fits nicely in there to include an extra Bogota. Just can't understand why that wasn't thrown in there. So is this the kit for you? Well, as I said, if you're in North America, possibly wide open keyways. If you're in Europe or use the paracentric or narrow keyways, absolutely not. If these are the 6 picks that you find most useful, and these are the most common picks, and if these are your 6, I would say, yeah, this is a good choice for you. Economically, you get quite a discount by buying these as a bundle. If, however, you want to replace one of those with the Bogota, or maybe you have other picks you like, or maybe you don't like a couple of these and would like to exclude them, or if you want something else thrown in lieu of that, I would suggest that buying your picks individually would probably be more cost effective than buying this and then buying all the extras to fill out your kit exactly the way you want it. It's yours, guys. Make it your own. Anyway, I appreciate your time. For the next 24 hours, the comment line will be open. Leave a comment. I'll close comments, and then I will let the computer randomly select the winner of this beautiful little Peterson City Kit. Until then, everybody stay safe, and fellas, always stay legal.